the Philippines fast becoming a premier esports ecosystem? The Philippines in 2023 secured medals not only for Mobile Legends Bang Bang, but in other esports disciplines and across a number of international tournaments. So, where are we now in developing the Philippines as an esports hub? With us now for thought leaders is esports advocate Bobby Rosales, co-chairman and founder of Dark League Studios. He is also vice chairman of the Philippine Basketball Association and team governor of Terra Firma DIP. Good to have you with us, Bobby. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good day, Cathy, and thank you for having me.
And congratulations on a very successful mounting of year 2 of Smart University Clash.
Thank you.
It would appear that there is a sort of a groundswell of esports players in the Philippines, because this is at least 200 teams coming together for the second year of an initiative that you started.
Yes, and I'd like to thank also for Smart for believing in Dark League Studios. Being making us a partner in the Smart Gig Arena and holding the Smart University Clash.
Do you think that there is a groundswell of esports players? I mean, we've got the casual gamers on the one side and the hardcore ones.
It has been, the gamers have been here for quite some time already. The challenge now before us is how to grow this ecosystem in a responsible manner. And that's what Dark League would like to be responsible for, no? Growing the esports and in a responsible manner.
I like the word responsible because the way we were introduced in the Philippines to esports is through Dota. And if you recall, back in 2015 in Cavite, a certain town there had prohibited the playing of Dota in internet cafes with LAN connections because the council there thinks that it actually causes some sort of an upheaval in the community's peace. Is there some truth to that?
Although I'm not really fully aware of the circumstances during that time, it just shows that there has to be a better understanding of esports. No? The lack of understanding, I think, has resulted in that kind of an incident. That is why Dark League, we're focusing on, let's say, having everybody understand what esports all about and demolishing all the misconceptions about esports. Unfortunately, there have been many misconceptions about esports. And that
Such as?
Well, first, no, I can cite 3 misconceptions about esports and the myths that I would like to demolish. Esports has been identified, unfortunately, with gambling, which is not true, no, because some of the organizations before really esports became organized, no, they were called e-games, no. That's why if you notice now, the terminology used is esports and not e-games, because the negative comments rose from the e-games that were being displayed earlier, no? So, but there has been some interchangeability in the use of the terminology. But over time, I think the esports word has been more used by everybody. No? Then second, another myth that or misconception is that it is addicting. Video games are addicting. That is why I think that is our responsibility in Dark League Studios that we would like to address when we say we would like to grow the communities, in a responsible manner, because it should not be addicting. Properly handled. No, esports can mix with academic excellence. And as a matter of fact, that's in one of our programs. No, that's what our thrust is. No? Then, of course, it is not difficult to organize esports events, no? And that's why I think it is becoming increasingly popular, no? we have to admit it that it is the younger generation has gained more access at an early age to technology compared to the our generations, no? Now their toys are digital, besides the building blocks that we used to have, no? So at an early age, they already know about computers, smart devices and tablets, no? So that's the kind of entertainment that they've been exposed to at a very early
Do
age.
you play?
You know, I I used to play some games which I did not know would form part of the esports
You
ecosystem. No,
started with
so
Dota.
yeah,
You did.
I didn't realize that these video games would eventually be part of esports. No, but if you're asking me about the more popular games now, unfortunately, I don't play. But I see I have grandchildren, who play who are very adept in these video games, no. So I see them play this, no, and it's amazing how they can easily adapt to these games, one time they just borrowed my smartphone, and they just downloaded the game, and they were ready to play, and it's amazing,
What was that game that they downloaded?
without any formal instructions.
Mobile Legends, was it?
Yes, that's the most popular in the Philippines.
Yeah, you can see that they adapt so quickly, but then we go back to what you said about addiction. I mean,
Mhm.
what did you tell them as a granddad
You
to
know,
know your limits?
yes,
Not to
there's
play
a
too
time for
much.
playing.
Make sure you have time to study. I mean, you get the
Correct.
same thing from
Correct.
cynical
Correct.
parents
Uh-huh.
who would tell the very same
But
children,
yes,
get some sleep, stop
Get-
playing in the
you know,
wee
as
hours.
a parent, the more you prohibit, the younger people, the more they will try to do it, no. So there's a way. I mean, you just have to find the balance, between work and play, study and play, no. And
How do
that
you
is
do it at
why.
Dark League Studios? You've created programs, initiatives, the tournaments. I mean, all that leads up to tournaments. But of course, the discipline behind it to deconstruct those myths that you mentioned earlier.
Mm.
What have you done, or what have you been doing over the past 2 years
We,
from a
from
grassroots
the
point of
grassroots
view?
level. One of our main programs is what we call the Estudiante Esports. No? We have partnered with schools, academe, no, in promoting and have a better understanding of esports. No, um, you know, even in schools, there have been esports clubs that have been organized, no, and some of these have been supported by school administrators, no, but some have been organized without any support from schools. We would like to bring everybody, if you are going to grow the community, the school administrators, the teachers will have to support this also, and so that they can be properly handled, amazing the energy of these students, the young people, if properly harnessed and put in the right direction. Now, this can be beneficial to everybody as they graduate from school.
But
No?
it seems like there's a lot of convincing to do to the school administrators
It's a
because
big
they're
challenge,
the big
I mean,
gatekeepers.
it's a big challenge when you try to explain it to the older generation, school administrators, parents, no, teachers, no, because when you mention esports, immediately, okay, itong experience ko eh. Esports, e-games, ganun kagad ang
Mm.
sa'yo eh. No, these are not e-games, no? Kasi yung e-games, ina-attribute nila from the previous experiences nila sa social media, ang sama ng connotation ng e-games, no? No, these are video games kasi the esports now are really video games but organized, no, organized video games. That is what esports all about, no. Of course, what is most obvious, in esports are the tournaments and the games that are being played, no? But the focus should not be limited to the tournaments or the games or the gamers, no? You have to bring the older generations like me. Before I formed Dark League, I had no knowledge at all about esports. I've heard the name, the term, no, but no, I didn't, and that's why I had to do a lot of reading also to be able to catch up with the young people.
But eventually, what convinced you to get into it? I mean, we know you as a traditional hoops guy from the Philippine Basketball Association, and then you get into something like virtual gaming. It surprises a lot of people, the connection that you have, yes, with sports, traditional sports, but why did you choose esports
Yeah,
and build a company around it?
I was introduced to this to esports by a friend, no, who became my partner and co-founder eventually in Dark League, no. It was really more of I was about to retire already from my corporate regular job, no, and I wanted to do something also because I couldn't imagine myself also just being idle after retiring. So this idea with my partner, my co-founder, AC Valdinon, he brought up the idea of esports. So I told him, frankly, I do not know anything about that. So his wife was already in the industry, so we had a lot of discussion. We were supposed to put up something before the pandemic, but then everything was put on hold when the pandemic started. No, so but eventually after the pandemic was over, we decided to finally put up the the company, Dark League Studios. No,
But
no,
wasn't it that the pandemic actually accelerated the
that's
adoption
correct.
of e-sports?
That's correct.
Because I was
Mm.
looking at statistics overseas. The number of players logged into Steam, it reached a record at some point. Nintendo share price even went up by 45%, and Twitch saw its traffic jump by
Correct.
50%. And considering we had the longest lockdown in the world, it might have put a little bit more people, more Filipinos into esports.
But that's why that explains also the growth and the popularity, how esports became popular. People were locked in their rooms, their houses, so they had to find some form of entertainment. No, and what better way to do it using your smart devices? No, then end up download the games and you can play. That's why the growth was exponential during that time. But on my end, no, I also had to address my, my job, my work, and for businesses, it was a time really it was challenge to survive, no. So, but then, is video games became really popular, no, and the growth was tremendous during the pandemic. Yeah, but even after the pandemic, no, esports has continued, you know, to gain ground, no, and I think esports will be here to stay. Why? Because like in basketball, why has basketball become so popular in the Philippines? First, it is fast paced. Video games are fast paced. You play, there are games you can finish, let's say, in 20 to 30 minutes. So, tapos na yung game. Ganon din ang basketball, fast paced, no? 2 hours, di ba? But mabilis yung pace. Then second, ma- it's easy. It doesn't require much resources. You see in the country, there are basketball courts in every corner, every street, no? Because it doesn't require much to put it up. So people engage in basketball, play basketball. Ganon din naman ang video games. In the confines of your room, you can play alone, you can play with other people in different locations, no? So that's why it's easy to become popular. And the game developers are smart also. They allowed the free downloads of all these games, di ba? So, madali. It's a cheap form of entertainment, di ba? And that's why it will be here to stay, no?
It's here to stay, and you've involved your co-participants in basketball at the Philippine Basketball Association. You have gone to Alfrancis Chua and Willie Marshall to get support from them. What made you think about getting support from the PBA, and what does it do for the ecosystem in a traditional sport as basketball, introducing esports to them?
Well, first, Al Francis Chua is a co-founder of Dark League Studios.
Was it difficult to
Commissioner.
convince him?
Mhm.
Was it difficult to convince him?
It took some time because his son and my son, were really avid gamers, no? So when this was brought up, no, to us, we decided to help our children also engage in esports, no? But Commissioner Willie Marshall, he is the commissioner of the PBA, no? He's not uh, a partner in Dark League Studios, no? But our connection in the PBA, no? And we saw that PBA players, would you believe, are really gamers. So in their spare time, when they're not playing basketball, you can see players, playing with games in their smartphones. So the idea of bringing physical sports together with esports, no, came up, and some of the players were already live streaming, when they're playing games, no. So we saw that we can make it an additional activity, for the PBA, that hopefully eventually it will generate some revenues for the PBA, no?
Has it so far? I mean, it's year 2 for the Kings League, and you still have the Queens League as well
Mm-hmm.
to promote within that ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we play different games, when we hold the tournaments. Of course, we call it the Kings League. Kings League, these are original programs of Dark League, no? But most of the time, as you said earlier, the most popular game right now is Mobile Legends. No? But there are others, no? To name a few, you have the Call of Duty, Valorant, So all of this, we are not limiting ourselves to just a few game titles. That is the difference also with Dark League, no? We would like to promote all the games that hopefully, that are already popular, and hopefully we can help in popularizing this game.
And especially so when you get to the bigger grassroots, and that includes schools. Let's just go back
Yes.
to that conversation, because you've got a lot of administrators who have still to get on board the conversation and be part and support that ecosystem that we're talking about. How much headway are you getting in terms of maybe expressing to them sentiments towards mental wellness, maybe even nutrition? Little talked about, but very important if you wish to develop somebody who is an amateur player who wants to go pro.
That is precisely why we had to we discussed a partnership. We have a partner in addressing the mental mind wellness of gamers, no? We partnered with MWell, no? So they joined us in some of our activities with schools, no? And we conduct seminars, lectures also, and tell everybody, the schools, no, the school administrators, the students, that there are other opportunities other than just playing games. Esports has opened a lot of new opportunities in jobs, no, and different kinds of work, and then that is what we're trying to tell everybody. That's why esports is an interesting development lately.
And money making. I mean, I was just looking at the the salaries that a pro esports player can get, specifically in Korea. You can get something like 132,000
Even more,
US
I
dollars
think.
or even more if you
Yeah.
compare that with the
Mm.
the baseball federation
Mhm.
in Korea.
Wow.
Could you give us a comparison? I mean, basketball is so famous here and popular. Is it more profitable to be an esports pro player
Oh,
than it is to be a professional basketball player?
I don't know many of these details, Cathy, no? But it is really true that some of the better gamers, no, receive, salaries that are way beyond maybe our imagination, and they maybe can compare with salaries of players in other sports, no. But you'll also have to understand also that gamers normally have retired earlier, no, than that is what um, recent history has told us, no. They they retire even below the age of 30, so but they make a lot of money endorsing games, endorsing products, no.
Do we have any Filipino e player who has retired
Uh,
early?
Not yet.
Not
Well,
yet.
I'm not aware of. No, but we have some of the. We know that our players, Filipino players, can compete. We've garnered awards already of professional teams in international competitions. No, that just shows that we have the skills, the talent, really to compete worldwide, and you know that is what is good for the Philippine esports. No, and that we can provide the players. No, for international competitions.
It does because I was just looking. It's not just us competing in overseas markets. We also have imports who are competing in, say, an Indonesian pro league group, and being that player who makes the group win. We have the likes of Kairi Rayos del Sol. That's one. And beyond mobile league, mobile beyond mobile legends, we do have Carlo Cucu Palad and Abed Yusop playing Pro Dota 2. So we've gone beyond mobile legends in really playing the sport so well that we've become imports. What sort of a quality are you seeing amongst our pro level now that you're working on grassroots, but at a certain point be involved as well in the ecosystem of the pros?
Eventually, what we're doing in Dark League, we will be the feeder, no, of players, no, who will eventually will represent the Philippines, no. We start from the grassroots. Eventually, these players will become professionals, have join other professional teams, compete in international competitions, and we have the advantage of having a huge population, Cathy, no. The student population, the last I heard, school year 23, there were more than 23 enrollees, for nationwide, and
23
a million
million.
students, no, enrollees, no. So, and year in and year out, no, this will keep growing. We have one of the biggest population rates of increase, this part of the world, no, and that is an advantage that we should also we will always have compared to other countries, no. Uh, that's why you know countries like Indonesia, esports is very popular. They have a wide base also, no? And, so as I said, we will be providing the future stars in esports, no?
But of course, academics first. I'm sure you'll
That
agree.
is
But
the,
that is something that you'd
yeah, that
have
is the
to,
balance.
the balance that you
Mm.
have to convince you can
Yes.
provide and you
Mhm.
can support in that
Mm.
ecosystem, especially in the academic setting. How much headway are you getting with the academe? Because this doesn't also only involve the schools, but the Department of Education, for instance. You have to get their support
Yeah.
for what you're doing.
We do not have results yet. We're only 2 years old. No, that is the thrust. No, mixing. We are saying mixing esports with academic excellence. I mean, it can coexist. No, but then you still need you really need to convince the parents, the teachers, the school administrators. What we've witnessed some of our tournaments, no, we've seen parents and grandparents attending the tournaments and cheering for their children, grandchildren. That is amazing. Then I hope we can, when you see this, then it just says that it is possible, no, for the older generations to embrace esports, no. So that is the challenge that we will always have. But the understanding is important. The understanding by the older generations is important if we will grow esports in a responsible manner.
And perhaps also support it in the way of providing a platform, a venue. For instance, the Department of Education in the 63rd Palarong Pambansa, this was just last year. It made esports the lone demonstration title. And that is
Mhm.
something that the local government unit supported in Marikina City.
Yeah.
So is this a kind of support that you need coming together, government, local government units, advocates like yourself, and maybe even the private sector?
You know, this initiative by the government, they have taken the right step, no, the step in the right direction, no, to legitimize esports, no, because you know, we've seen esports already at the Southeast Asian Games, no,
In
and
2019.
you know,
And we
there
were the
are,
first ones to actually promote
yes,
that.
and there are moves now to make it an Olympic sport, no. Hopefully, it will become an Olympic sport the next Los Angeles
In
Olympics, no,
2028.
2028,
They will be
no.
deciding on a plan that the International Olympic Committee said they might promote, which is Olympic esports.
Yes.
If and when they vote on that, what do you make of it? Because they're coming from a point where they were a little bit hesitant to promote esports within the Olympic setting because they previously said it did not support the values.
I think there are developments also which are encouraging, no? Because there are many countries also that are already supporting esports, no? And in Europe, countries like France, no? They're very heavy in esports. England's very heavy. So when these governments also push for legitimizing esports, no, as a sport, no, then it will expedite or facilitate making it an Olympic sport. And you know, as a country, the Philippines, you know, we have the players, the talents, no, to really compete this. And I think we'll be able to um, put up a good performance if ever this will become an Olympic sport.
And it's not just the players. We still have to talk about the game developers. It's a whole ecosystem, like you said, the game publishers and companies like yourself. There are many other companies as yourself supporting that ecosystem. How are we doing in the sphere of game development? Because that's also important. We have a lot of pro development gamers in the country. If they don't make it successful as a pro, they develop games. How is that looking so far as a viable career?
You know, I've seen some local game developers. No, as a matter of fact, some of their games, one local developer, we've held tournaments, for some of their games in basketball. No, unfortunately, it hasn't gained, a good following. We have also the talents in that area of game development. But if you will notice also, the games that have been developed by international game developers, no, are really very fast-paced, and the graphics are just really amazing, no, because they have the technology, they spend on it, and that is where I think we are still inadequate, no, in the technological aspect of development, no, but we will get there. We've seen the creativity of our what we call them, programmers or game developers, no. So I think we will get there eventually. The challenge again is how do you promote these games that are being developed. Dark League is here to help the game developers and promote their games, because we have the communities that we are developing, and You want your game to be introduced and promoted in the marketplace. Dark League Studios is the company that will help promote, and we would like to help the local game developers. No, as I said earlier, no, we are not limiting ourselves to a select few or restricting ourselves. No, we'd like to embrace everybody. Our philosophy is collaboration. We'd like to collaborate with everybody. So, uh, it's an all-inclusive effort by Dark League Studios so that we don't look at other outfits as competitors. We'd like to collaborate with the reliable um, participants in esports. No?
Which leads us to broadcast and sponsorship rights, because this is where the money is made, and that is the goal, to promote the adoption of a certain game, perhaps locally made by a fellow Filipino. How much money can be made, and how much money is there just getting broadcasting rights, sponsorship rights to e-leagues?
The main driver of esports now are really sponsorship funds. No? But that is not a sustainable model, no? To just rely on sponsorship funds. Eventually, you want to last in this business, you have to develop other revenue streams, no? Of course, for sponsors, or partners to really engage with you also, no? You have to be able to show, no, what you can deliver. And there, I think what is important is you have to earn the trust of all these prospective partners, no? And for you to have earned their trust, integrity will have to be there, no? And then your credibility will follow, no? So that's why we are very particular also when we seek partners or seek collaboration. We'd like to have reliable partners, no, in any endeavor.
What's in it for the private sector to take part? Like, say, build a team, as they would a basketball team, support a basketball team, support an esports team or e-league that goes international.
It requires a lot of resources and a lot of discipline also. Baka nga mas mahirap to maintain a professional esports team. You've heard of boot camps, no? Where players are housed, no? They stay there for a long time, training, all the games, no? And they get salaries, no? So, but for you to really also gain credibility when you form a professional, you have to keep on winning in tournaments and international tournaments. Now, of course, some of these groups, they really indulge in having these professional teams, no? But that's their model, no, in their participation in esports, no. But for Dark League, if we put up a professional team, then we are also restricting ourselves, no? I mean, why will people collaborate with us when we have our professional team competing against their teams? We will not be able to encourage collaboration.
Companies listening to us now and viewing, what would be the biggest reason why they should set up an esports team?
An esports team, maybe it's better to say why they should participate first in the esports landscape, no? Again, you have to look at the demographics, no? Ano ba ang esports? Ano ang community ng esports? Mga bata, the younger generation. Eventually, this will form part of the workforce, di ba? And they will have this spending power. What better way to introduce yourself, than start early when these students are still young, di ba? They become aware of your products, your services, no? Then you develop loyalty, no? So that is where esports is, no? So that is what we're trying to tell everybody. The time to participate in esports is now. You know, take advantage of these young people, but we are growing the community in a responsible manner. No, so this will be your eventually. This will be your market also, eventually, and so we're not really asking for sponsorship funds, but we're telling everybody you have a market here that is untapped, no? And you can really grow, eventually develop that loyalty.
That also sounds like a clarion call for policymakers to get in on the conversation. And as you say, it is a big market, and it should be responsible. Then there should be guardrails. What kind of policy support are you getting? Because it was just back in 2022 that a House bill was filed, 1285, by Christopher de Venecia. He supported the initial development of esports related degrees at the university level and the initial incorporation of the digital sphere as early as the primary level.
We're glad that Congressman de Venecia initiated, no, a move like that, no? And because admittedly, right now, esports is very loosely, what call it, organized, or I mean, even the regulations are not clear, no. But there has to be some oversight, definitely. If if we will have to make it a credible esports, no, that can be joined in by everybody, and which really affects the young, and which will have to be embraced by the older generations. And in that aspect, I think the policies will have to be made eventually, and Dark League would like to be part of that conversation. If government will ask our opinion also, or recommendations, we'd like to be part of the
So
conversation.
you haven't been part of any conversation when it comes to maybe a bill being filed.
When you say we've started, I think, no, with the Philippine Sports Commission, with the chairman Dicky Bacnan. We've met with DICT, and with the DILG representatives, but we really haven't gained much progress, no. But at least we've already they're aware already of what Dark League Studios is doing. So I think one of these days we will just we'll just be engaging them also.
And you do have the support of the Philippine Esports Organization that the headquarters had just been launched last year. And very interestingly so, that the very first initiative that it had to do from its end is prevent game fixing. There was an issue about game fixing somewhere down the line, and they said, we're going to slap a 3-year ban on you guys.
Yeah,
So it does happen. It's quite
that's a
rampant.
black eye, for the esports community. No, definitely, we don't take pleasure in these kinds of incidents. No, and Peso is in its right mind, not to really put its foot down on this incident, and then and I think they'll be able to handle this correctly.
Doping, is that also
There are many
rampant?
issues,
Cheating?
no, but that's why that is why the partnership with academe is very important, no? Because this is where we can reach out to the students, to the teachers, and even the parents. They have PTAs, no, Parent Teachers Association, no, and this is the proper venue for us to make them understand what esports is all about. It's easy to fall into the trap of just focusing on the students, the gamers, no, and be carried away. But we have to realize that you want esports to grow in this country, you have to involve the adults, the parents, the teachers, administrators. If you have tournaments, you have to involve the schools, so that the tournaments will be endorsed, no, the clubs. So we also help in organizing esports clubs in those that do not have yet, no? So that they can be properly guided in how to operate their esports clubs.
So, given the progress that we've seen, starting with Mobile Legends, with our players here, really making it big internationally, and also knowing the challenges, how far are we in creating that premier ecosystem for esports, especially when you compare to other Asian countries like Korea, China? These are the big guys in the industry.
We have a long way to go, Cathy, and it will take the collective effort of everybody, no? All the esports organizations in the country, the national federation, the government, no? So that's why I'd like to call on everybody, no? Let's start the discussion already on how we can all make esports grow and develop, in a responsible manner.
Before we go, our Smart Omega Empress players are competing now for the top prize. That's going to be the inaugural World Cup of esports in Riyadh.
Yes.
What message do you have for them?
Well, we're all behind you. We're supporting you. Whatever when you win, it's really a big honor for the country. But whatever the result will be or whatever the outcome will be, we are proud and we are proud of you. And let's raise the flag, of the country.
Do you think we're ready to raise the flag as well in 2028 in LA, if and when indeed the Olympic Committee
We have to prepare
does
for
approve
it,
of
Cathy.
esports as a
We have to
medal
prepare
event?
for it. We just cannot, rest on our laurels also, and it gives us time to prepare, as I said, it will have to be a collective effort of everybody.
And a final question for those watching and wanted to go your path. You said you were just about to retire and you wanted to keep yourself busy. What would you advise them?
Retirement, everybody, people talk of retirement, you talk of just, just going on a vacation, traveling, whatever. But it's easy to talk about that, no? But I saw during the pandemic, no, that was a preview of retirement, if you ask me, no, because I saw people, getting locked down, no. But myself, I did not really feel it, the lockdown, because I reported to work every day during the whole pandemic. I asked my staff to work 3 times a week. Some of them would work from home. But I had, by force of circumstance, I had to report every day. I had to make sure that my company will survive. The automotive industry was one of the worst hit by the pandemic. So, and I'm glad we survived the pandemic. Then, but I was preparing also myself already from getting out of that corporate world, no? So I had to think, what would I do? Because I'm so used to the routine of, having something to do day in, day out. And I'm glad I went into esports. It's a learning process for me. I now have a better understanding of the young. Para sinasabi natin, para naririnig natin parati, parang may generation gap, di ba, ganon. But now I know, what kind of generation we have, no? They're digitally active, digitally knowledgeable, properly harnessed, they're passionate, this energy, can help, the country, as a whole, when they go into the workforce, no? And we're talking about digital transformation. We should, with this generation who are digitally knowledgeable already at an early age, we should not have a problem when they finally join the workplace, no? So, but we have to guide them. We have to provide them the direction to take, no? That is the role of the older generation, no? I am the oldest in my company. I don't hide my age. I'm 71. No, the people I work with, it's from 21 to 36. And so they're like my children, grandchildren already. No, but I also learn from them, no? And I have a very creative and dedicated group in Dark League Studios.
Are you not looking to pick up on maybe a Mobile Legends Bang Bang or maybe Valorant?
You know what? I tried,
You did.
my fingers are not so nimble anymore.
We leave it to the kids.
Yeah, we leave it to the kids. Baka Tetris na lang siguro.
I'd go for that. Well, thank you so much and all the best
Thank
online.
you,
and
Cathy,
on the court
for
side.
having me. And to everybody, join us in our journey.
Thank you so much, Bobby Rosales. Catch us again next Thursday at 9 p.m. Philippine Standard Time on One News. You can also check out the long conversation on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. I'm Cathy Yang, and this is Thought Leaders.